You are listening to the Atheist Antidote Show.
Coming to you at a time when a man with common sense can die of intellectual loneliness. And now your host, Brock Lawley.
Hello, my name is Brock Lawley. I'm the Atheist Antidote. I am your host. Thank you for listening. You know, we're all wading through the aftermath, the facts, the rumors, the conspiracy theories that is the Boston Massacre. But one of the most interesting things, and I've touched on this earlier, but I'm just so fascinated by this. I mean, it's as Orwellian as anything else going on today, if not more so, and I know that list is growing troublingly long, but it's an amazing thing to sit back and witness what we live in this time and how we have turned ourselves into a pretzel, both in mind and just in, you know, just society and how we conduct ourselves. It's just all convoluted. And what I speak of is this gymnastics routine that we see from the media, specifically the left, when it comes to the Islamic faith that the perpetrators of this crime clearly have and have expressed and have lauded and, you know, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. You guys all know it by now, right? Just on and on and on about the great Allah. And clearly they were radicalized, and, you know, it's such a sad state of affairs that you have to say this, but, you know, clearly not all Muslims are terrorists, blah, 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 blah. You know, it's like you're in middle school. But that's the degree of thought that we have going. But what's amazing is to see the left run defense on this. To literally do backflips and contours and, you know, circus act freakish contortions to avoid saying this, and, you know, you have to ask yourself, why, right? I mean, this has been over and over and over. People have been over this a million times in the arena of ideas, but what is with the left and Islam? And I think it's an interesting thing because it speaks to so many things. You know, it speaks to the intellectual dishonesty of the left. It speaks to their worship of political correctness. It speaks to their contorted and perverted lens through which they look at life. But that's not really the important thing. It really speaks to the cowardice of the modern day leftist mind. Because think about it. You all know this. I don't need to explain this to you. There's no way they would do this with Christianity, evangelical or Catholicism. There's no way that they would do this with the Jewish faith. Certainly no way they would do this with the Mormon faith. It's just Islam, people. It's just Islam. I mean, I saw Bill Maher, of all people, had some professor butt clown in his show embarrassing himself. And Bill Maher, actually, you got to tip your hat to him. Called him out. Said, come on, enough with the liberal nonsense. Seriously. Islam's different. It's different. You know, 10% of it was radicalized. The other 50% condones the radical behavior. That does not mean all Muslims are terrorists. Nobody's saying that. Stop with the leftist nonsense. You know, and at what point does it endanger us? I mean, you know, this isn't partisanship. Just think about that. Joe, six-pack listener who hears my voice. At what point does this endanger you and your family? I'll give you an example. If you're going through, let's say you're going through, I don't know, medical procedure, and your doctor refuses to acknowledge the fact that your cancer or whatever's ailing you exists. I don't know. And let's say he gives you a whole laundry list of reasons, all of which he thinks make him a wonderful person, sensitive and kind. But the point is, he doesn't acknowledge that cancer exists. Now, meanwhile, you have cancer. Hair's falling out. Signs are all over the place. At what point do you get a new doctor? Clearly, doesn't matter how good of heart the guy is, he's incompetent in this particular situation. How is that not the exact same thing politically with the left? Explain it to me. They won't even admit we have an enemy. They won't identify the enemy. They won't call the enemy an enemy. When the enemy blows up children in Boston, the left won't even admit to what the enemy is admitting to. Ask the perpetrator of the crime, why did you do this? We are warriors of Allah. Allah the Great. Anybody who disrespects Allah will be brought to his knees and meet the sword. The enemy, the perpetrator of the crime, is willing to admit this, but not MSNBC. And do we want to put such an insane mindset in power? How is this politics? This isn't right-left politics. This is like gravity, or the sky is blue, or grass is green. This is crazy. What kind of Orwellian world the left has got this place into? What in the world? You know, there's a lot of different things. There's a lot of ideas, economic, social, that I don't understand. Right? I don't see how somebody could own that worldview. But it's not like it's just a difference of opinion, right? It's a different way of allocating funds. It's a different way of feeling like we're going to get to the best place. Not this. This is just straitjacket insanity. And I think beyond the fact that we have real problems because this mentality is piloting the ship and governing the country, the left and the mindset of the left, how cowardice to kowtow to Islam, but not to have enough fortitude and guts and leadership and just common sense, for that matter, to call a spade just because there's danger. And it goes to show you, if anything, you can make a case for this. Think about it this way. So Islam has brought leftism to its knees because leftism is compiled of a bunch of shaking knees, drooling children at the core of it. The nucleus of it. Oh yeah, they talk a big game, but when it comes right down to it, if this hasn't proven to you that the left has no spine, so think about it. What do they really say to other radicals? And I mean, there are radicals in every group. It says, if you blow things up, if you threaten, if you proselytize by the sword, the left will bend to your will. They will do your bidding. They will run defense. They will make excuses. So moving forward, any group who has grievances with the West, democracy, freedom, just kill people, blow things up, and destroy lives and maim individuals. And the left is sure to be bed buddies in a matter of a New York second. I mean, is that not the message? Is that not the walkaway message? Once again, this country must realize that the domestic enemy, the intellectual enemy of this country, the cancer in the marrow of the crumbling bones of the United States of America is secular extremism in the political form of leftism. And you must fight it now or it will be your demise. Thank you for listening to the Atheist Antidote Show.
You are listening to the Atheist Antidote Show.